We acknowledge that Tri-Cities Community Television operates on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Coquitlam First Nation. We thank the Coquitlam who continue to live on these lands and care for them along with the waters and all that is above and below.
Hi, it's Kathy Chenna with Tri-Cities Community Television, and I am here with the Goa Overseas Association of Vancouver, where our very own Ashney Rebello from the Tri-Cities is one of the members. She's the social and cultural director of an event here today where we are promoting the Jane Goodall Institute. This event was fantastic and had so many outstanding chefs that served the high tea. Chef Aldrich D'Mello, Chef Leslie Fernandes, Chef Rohit Kulkarni, and Chef Milton Rebello, and of course, she doesn't need an introduction, but our very own Tri-City resident, Ashney Rebello. So much more to come from all of our speakers. Stay tuned, and thanks so much for watching. So it's truly my pleasure to be your MC this afternoon, and let's see where this beautiful afternoon takes us, and hopefully we will be making friendships and learning about Goan culture, the delicious food, and of course the community that brings us all together. And we're going to be getting into this amazing cause of why we're all here in just a few moments. First, I would like to call Anne De Silva, the president, to come up and just say a few words.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. It's been such a pleasure just organizing this event with Ashney. And, we wanted to bring the environmental and conservation to the forefront, especially with our Goan community and the community at large. And I'm so happy to see that we have so many government officials and friends, and we're waiting for Alexa Lu, I guess she's not here yet, and family members of the 50th anniversary committee, Joe, Dexter's father. And, it's just, and the chefs, they're wonderful chefs. We had made a beautiful, the top chefs have made us a beautiful, authentic Goan high tea presentation, which we have later. Thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed the book. Yes, I'm happy that you all could all be here today. I'm really pleased and really have a good afternoon, and we'll send it over to Kathy again.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much. So yes, Richmond is here with us. She's an award-winning entrepreneur, board governance professional, public policy leader, author, and speaker. She's the founder and CEO of Synergy Executive and Boards Consulting Group, an AI governance and implementation company. Her career began in microbiology and embryology before she moved into strategic advising and entrepreneurship. She served on more than 25 boards. This lady is busy across the private, public, and nonprofit sectors, and currently including the Municipal Pension Board of Trustees, SFU's Beatty School of Business, and a vice chair of the Women's Enterprise Center of BC. Trish is a second-term city councillor for the city of Coquitlam and the immediate past president of the Union of BC Municipalities after serving 2 terms as president. So I would like to welcome right here in my spot, Trish Mandeo, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the invitation, Ashney, and it's so beautiful to meet so many people that I'm already connected with, throughout the Tri-Cities as well as, beyond the Tri-Cities. So again, I'll start by telling you why I'm here speaking to you today at a Goan event. So Ashney and I met through our kids. Our daughters were in school together, and they became friends. And naturally, they brought us together. And if we were to look at how things normally happen, we would have just said, oh, hi, good to see you. You're Ashney, I'm Trish, and then see you later. But instead, we sought to really get to understand each other. And I always tell people that even today, I'm going to leave you with a challenge afterwards. When we meet someone, we need to take time to really get to know what it is that connects us more than what it is that divides us. Because more often, especially in this time that we're in the world, we are always looking for the things that make us different. And we are always othering each other. Or you're over there, you're Goan. Or you're over there, you're Punjabi. Or you're Kenyan, right? We're always othering each other, and we don't see ourselves in the similarities that we have. And we know that one of the greatest compliments we can pay one another is by understanding each other's culture. And it's also by understanding what it is that makes our blood flow and what it is that makes us happy as individuals. So, meeting Ashney, we started talking about, the fact that she's from India, but the first thing she told me was, but I'm not the butter chicken of India. Many of you probably have heard her saying that. She's like, I'm not the butter chicken of India, because she's so proud of the Goan cuisine. And, she introduced me to sheath kodi, the rice and curry. For those of you that don't know, sheath kodi is rice and curry. She also introduced me to enu stem, which is the fish, as well as, of course, to the amazing and my favorite, the bibinka. Which, are we having bibinka today?
No.
Bibinka is this amazing layer cake that she makes that just melts in your mouth, and you will always remember Goa if you have it. So thank you, Ashney, for introducing me to not only the food, but the amount that she has shared of the culture in Goa and how she grew up. And I can even picture, I haven't been to her house in Goa, but I know how her house is. I know where it sits. I know how far it is from the ocean, just from all the things that she has shared with me, which again reminds us that if we just take that time to listen to someone, we can get to understand them from where they are at, and it actually brings us to the things that make us similar. Which brings me to a quick conversation that I had with Corinne from, just understanding the Jane Goodall Foundation. I wanted to know, today we're here to fundraise for Jane, for the Goodall Foundation. And I was like, I wonder what brought her to Tanzania, of all places, right? I'm originally from Zimbabwe, but my life has taken me from Zimbabwe to the US, now to Canada, but I consider myself a global citizen. Mm-hmm. Why? Because the fact that I was born in one country doesn't mean that I don't have to enjoy all this beauty that we have in the world. So now I find myself calling myself a global citizen, and I am also an honorary Goan citizen, thanks to Ashney.
I will thank you.
I know, right? So today I want us to really think about that global citizenship, and say it also brings us to global responsibility. What is the responsibility that we have as individuals so that we can make this world a better place? No one can teach us that more than Jane Goodall, who is late now, may she rest in peace. But the organization that she has left with us is one that can remind us of the fact that even as an individual, there's something we can do to change the world. We have a responsibility to not only think about the people, but to think about the environment that we have and that we are part of. I'm reminded of the African word, which is Ubuntu. Ubuntu means I am because of you, that we are because of each other. When I hurt, you hurt. When I'm happy, you are happy. Nothing describes the connectedness of the world more than that word. So as we are here today, whether you're Goan, whether you're from you're Canadian or you're from somewhere else.
Italian.
Or Italian, right? It doesn't matter. Those titles and the ways that we define ourselves do only that. That's our individualism. But our approach to the world should be that collectivism of saying, how can I leave this world better than it was when I entered into this world? Right? So I go back again to the Jane Goodall Foundation and say, just take a minute to go see how she went around the world and how she just respected every single item that makes our world, right? If we are people and we don't have the animals, and we don't have the insects, and we don't have the water, and we don't have the, the vegetation, we are nothing. We will perish, right? So it's better for us to really take a step back and look at how we can preserve that environment. And one of the ways that we can do that is by, donating to organizations like the Goodall Foundation. And one person is giving us that example of how we can do that. Dax Da Silva, your beautiful son, partnered and has seen the value that the Jane Goodall Foundation does. And he has donated a lot to the foundation, and also had the beautiful chance of doing one of the last trips with Jane Goodall to Tanzania and to the Amazon. What a gift that was for him, right? So for us, let's learn from that, and let's say, yeah, we might not make a trip with Jane to go there and see the chimpanzees or be out there in the forest, but what can we do as individuals to make that little difference in the world? If we can't do anything physically, can we donate? If we can't donate, can we talk about it? There's so much that we can do, to really continue to advance this work, and to be reminded that we need to leave this world better than it was when we came in. I just wanted to leave you with one call to action. So as we celebrate Goa's incredible heritage this afternoon, let's also celebrate our shared humanity. Every donation, every act of kindness, and every commitment to protecting our planet creates a better future. Together, we honor where we come from while investing in where we are going. Have a beautiful afternoon.
Thank you so much for your inspiring words. I'd like to know how I can be an honorary Goan as well, Ashney.
You're baptized today.
I'm baptized? Okay. Okay. Our next speaker is Joe Da Silva. He's going to come up and say a few words. This is Dax's father.
If you look at this book, it says Echoes from Eden. And when he did the cover, because I'm a graphic designer, he says, Dad, what do you think about the cover? And I made a lot of changes. I didn't take off Echoes from Eden, but I made a few changes. And he says, thank you, Dad, but he never changed anything. He never took any of mine. But we just came from a safari, just the family, Anne, Tasha, the daughter, Dax, Olivia, and myself. And we went to Tanzania. And we went to Arusha, which was the Jane Goodall exhibit, run by her two grandkids. It was a beautiful, beautiful exhibit. But I was happy to go to Africa after 54 years. Okay? And my family originated from Africa. My aunt, I was just looking at the family tree, was born in Africa in 1909. So the family went there during the reign of King George VI. So we have African roots in Kenya, in Tanzania, and in Uganda. We couldn't go to Uganda because of the Ebola. Okay? But we went to Tanzania. There's one thing I always taught my two kids is, as a faith-based person, I always say to them, nothing happens by accident. Everything that happens to you was in God's plan. And this book, when you go to the end of the book, it's all about spirituality. And Dax and Jane Goodall's last talks in the Amazon and in Africa, they all talked about spirituality. So in this trip, I got the three women to sit in a separate Land Rover, and Dax and I sat in one. We didn't want the noise. And he just talked about Jane Goodall and the spirituality that came out of her. And Dax and I are both deeply spiritual. And I said, if I come here, I need to talk about how God works mysteriously in our lives. And this is how I'll end it with. The Jane Goodall, where she met the chimpanzees, was in a place called Gomba. And it's on the border of Uganda, where I was born, and the Congo. And Dax went with Jane Goodall for the last time to Gombe. It's Gombe, okay? And I realized that I lived in a place called Masaka, which was only 50 miles away from where Jane Goodall did her work with the chimpanzees. 50 miles away. The chances of Dax meeting Jane Goodall and going to this place in Gombe, 50 miles from where I was born, in this whole of Africa, was 1 in a million. Right. Okay? And that's where you see God's hand upon him. And all she talked about was spirituality. So when you do buy this book, at the end of the book, he talks about the spirituality between Jane Goodall and him, and how their lives evolved and they suddenly meet together to do work in the Amazon and the other countries in the world itself. Okay? So this book, the title, echoes from Eden. The word Eden comes from the book of Genesis. And what Dax was trying to create was what was lost in Genesis, he was trying to create back in this world of what's going on, in the devastation of the forest and the rivers and all that. So here is Dax recreating what's in Genesis, and here's Jane Goodall protecting the animals that God created on this world. And so when these two human beings come together, it's like magic. And I'm so proud to have taught my two kids, and with the help of Anne too, is your spirituality comes first, and God gives you the plan and gives you the means to go forward with what he has programmed for you. So this book is not just about, it ends beautifully about spirituality, and I think we've got to take this into heart, because every one of us has to do a little bit in preserving this creation that God has created and preserving the animals that he has with us. Amen. Okay.
Thank you, Joe.
You're welcome.
Nothing happens by chance.
Nothing does.
That's right. Nothing happens by chance. Okay. Let's move on. Corinne Caldwell, she's the chair of the Jane Goodall Institute of Canada, and I will just quickly read her bio. She's a passionate people leader, financial strategist, and innovator with nearly 20 years of experience leading organizations in Canada and abroad. She attributes her success to engaging stakeholders with meaningful insights, creating a strong vision, developing a coaching culture, and an inclusive decision-making. She has a passion for evolving organizations from a transaction-based to a value-added strategic focus and employs big-picture thinking. Corinne is the Chief Operating Officer with Harper Gray LLP. Prior to joining Harper Gray, she served as an executive with the British Columbia Real Estate Association, and she articled in audit with Ernst & Young LLP and is a chartered professional accountant. With a keen interest in governance, she completed her Chartered Director designation. She's passionate about community involvement, and she has served as the past chair of the Canadian Association Executives Committee in governance roles with the Girl Guides of Canada, and has been extensively involved in the industry advisory committees. Please welcome her to the front. Thank you.
Kathy kindly mentioned, I'm the chair of the Jane Goodall Institute. That's my volunteer role. My bio was my professional role, so a little bit different to what I do with the Institute. I got involved with the Institute 8 years ago. I saw Jane speak, and I've always been incredibly passionate about anything animal-related, anything environment-related. I grew up in South Africa, so had the opportunity to go out and see a lot of the animals there. And there was something incredible about hearing Jane speak, because it didn't matter who you were or where you came from or what you were passionate about. She managed to drive passion into every single person she talked to. And no matter which quote you think about when you think about her life and what she brought to us, there's something in there for everybody. There's an opportunity for everybody to think about how they can get involved. And one of the things that Jane was always famous for saying was thinking about every action that you make has some sort of impact. And you get to determine what that impact is going to be. You get to choose what sort of difference you can make. And today we're here to celebrate Jane, we're here to celebrate the Institute and the great work that Dax da Silva has done and the people that have brought him into that world of passion for the environment, for people, and for the shared vision that we all have for the future. So to tell you a little bit about the Jane Goodall Institute of Canada, we're based out of Toronto. But we do have a national presence, so you have board members across the country, you have staff members across the country, and we have what we call the Roots and Shoots organization that empowers young people across the country to get involved in some way or another. One of the things that Jane found about 10 years ago was she was going around and talking to a lot of young people, and they were talking about how there's nothing I can do. I don't have a position of power, I don't have a lot of money, I'm in a situation where the world is already ruined. We've stopped paying attention to the environment. We've killed a lot of the animals. We've taken all of the space. What can I, as a 12-year-old, a 15-year-old, an 18-year-old, what can I possibly do? And Jane started this organization to bring different youth together and to have them think about every change that you make has an impact. And whether that is you get your neighbors to start recycling, you get somebody to start caring about the environment, you think about using less water, you think about what is it that means something to you? Do you build a bee garden? Do you build opportunities within your community to bring people together and find a way forward? Because there's always that next step. We can always work towards protecting nature. There's always something incredible that we can do. But that first step is always the most difficult, that one of getting involved and saying, this is important to me, this is something I'm passionate about, and what am I going to do to help? So today you've already taken that step, you've come, you're willing to sort of pay attention to my speech and those of everyone around us who are talking about some of the great work that Jane has done. I really hope you read Dax da Silva's book. It's an incredible book from what I've heard. I haven't had the opportunity to read it yet myself. I'm looking forward to doing so. But he was an incredible personality working with Jane and seeing them go to Gombe and hearing all the stories and hearing Jane talk a little bit about that experience and what that was like was just incredible. So I really do thank everybody for coming today and for being involved. If you do want to learn more about the Institute, do take a look at our website. We've got lots of different activities that are going on. If anybody's feeling particularly active, we have the Hike for Hope that we're bringing together October 3rd and 4th. You can hike anywhere you want. You can hike up the Grouse Grind if you want to feel a little bit more ambitious, or you can find a local community park. Really what we're trying to do is get people to come together and think about what can you do for people, animals, and the environment. I haven't had the opportunity to go to Goa. I've traveled rather extensively. I'm a wildlife photographer on the side, so I've had lots of opportunities to see different animals, but I look forward to learning a little bit more about Goa and the places that everybody comes from. So thank you so much for inviting us. Thank you for your donations to the Jane Goodall Institute. I can attest that we do some incredible work both across Canada and across Africa, whether it's community-centered conservation, whether it's bringing our youth into the role for the next generation. So please do learn more about the organization. I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any. Enjoy your afternoon today, and I hope you get involved with the organization. Thank you.
Thank you.